How's it going, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. We got a new project going for us today. We're going to go ahead and get started on building ourselves a Grizzly. And if you don't know what that is, that's basically like a sifter or a classifier for material. We're digging stuff out of the pond or to enlarge the pond, and we're getting a bunch of rocks in it, and we can't really use that anymore because it's just making a big old mess of rocks. So we need to find a way or build a way to separate the big rocks from the usable dirt. We went and picked up some chain link fence, and we're just going to go ahead and, my dad has drawn something up. So I'll show you what that looks like when I draw this thing in SketchUp. So I'll bring you along for that. That will just be me on the computer recording, building this Grizzly in SketchUp. And I'm just going to do a time lapse of that. Maybe I'll narrate over it. But yeah, so come along. Let's get this project started. And my intention in this video is to not only design it, draw it up, then we're going to go make sure we got all the supplies for it. I'll probably do that off camera. Then we're going to build it, probably a couple of shots along with time lapse, and then we'll put it in place and I'll show us using it. And maybe talks of why we're doing it, and I think there might be a new project that spawns from it. I might have to build myself an area on the property that I could use as a quarry. So I could put the rock that I separate out, the material that I could use for dirt, and I could actually save backfill or use backfill, not backfill, but topsoil. I could separate out topsoil as well. So I might need to do all that in a separate location on the property. So that's most likely going to be a future project. Well, I'm going to cue the music. Thanks for joining us, and let's get this project started. All right, everybody, now that we're at the computer, let's go ahead and build this design for this Grizzly. It's just some of the other things that I was working on. Okay, let's see here. All right, I'm going to cue some music, and then I'm going to go ahead and do this in time lapse. All right, Dad's already gotten started, so let's go take a look at what he's doing. What you got going on in here, Pops?
I'm cutting those 45-degree angles for these boards, that one top board. And then I'm cutting a 45-degree angle across the tip so it's flush with the board.
All right, now that those are all cut, we're just going to be able to build the actual working end of this Grizzly. So we'll set the time lapse up for that too. Hold on, let's talk to the camera a little bit. All right, well, we got the GoPro running. It's sitting right there on the edge of the patio there. So we're having a little debate slash figuring out on how we're going to go ahead and mount the legs. Since the angle doesn't necessarily have to be anything specific. And in the diagram that I built on SketchUp, as you've just seen, anyways, yeah, that's the problem. So we're gonna get the tractor out, flip this thing over, kind of lift it up. But what I think we should do is put one screw in there so it could pivot.
Okay, that's fine. And we can move it back about 4 inches from the front.
You think so?
Yeah, I think so. That way it can pivot and not miss the front. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And moving it back 4 inches is no big deal.
No, but moving those feet back 4 inches is going to lower the whole thing to the ground, which is going to mean the mound in front's going to have to be emptied a lot sooner before it starts to overflow into it.
We made those 4 inches longer than what we're supposed to have, or 3 inches longer. We're supposed to be 24. We're at 27, or right?
26 and an eighth.
26. So we can go back 2 inches and put one screw in. You're right. We can.
Yeah.
So we can go back.
And then we use the tractor to lift it up until we get our 7 feet on, which in theory needs to be right at the tip though. Needs to be right at the edge here. Otherwise we're gonna go too high for the tractor. Oh, maybe it won't, maybe not. It probably won't, actually.
But we gotta flip it over.
We still gotta flip it over, but not until after we put those screws in.
If we put one screw and we flip it over, it might break the screws off.
I don't think so.
Okay. We can try.
Just gotta be gentle.
So we put it back a 2x4. How's that?
Okay.
Okay. And do you want to drill a pilot hole so it pivots in that hole?
And not unscrews itself? Yeah.
So we'll drill, and then, cause we're gonna put a lot more screws in anyway.
I think we got a plan in place. So let's send it. All right, so we're at about 44 degrees. It seems steep enough, and it's something we could change in the future, but we're gonna go ahead and go with it for right now. All right, now that we got the Grizzly assembled there, let's go and see if we can't move it with the tractor. We have some ideas if it doesn't work out. Put some wedges underneath some of those runners. But we're gonna go ahead and give it a shot now. If it does work, I'm gonna go ahead and move it. All right, guys, well, it's time to paint, so let's go ahead and do that. right, so the paint is dried enough to our standards anyways. We're gonna get some chain link, and then I found some like chicken fencing. So we're gonna go ahead and staple that to the top, see how that turns out.
See how easy that rolls off? Where it goes the whip? All right, so now the hard part. We gotta wait 3 days for the paint to fully cure before we use it.